Hello and welcome to the East Lampeter Township Public Meeting. All participants are now informed that this meeting is being recorded. This meeting is also being offered virtually utilizing Zoom, which is a cloud-based platform for remote video and audio conferencing. The Zoom application is free to the public. The general public is therefore able to join the meeting by connection through the internet or by calling in by phone. The public is also able to observe the meeting on the Township's YouTube channel. Please continue to check the Township website calendar for any updates related to these public meetings. Agendas for these public meetings will also be available on the Township's website. Please be reminded that this meeting is being video and audio recorded and will be posted to the Township's YouTube channel for viewing. The meeting will now proceed with the chairman calling the meeting to order and identifying all other members present in the meeting room and those joining the meeting via Zoom. The chairman will then confirm those members joining by Zoom can be heard.
Are you going to announce the temporary, or am I just going to go do it?
Yeah, as indicated on the agenda, first thing that needs to happen at the beginning of the year is reorganize the committee. So someone needs to temporarily chair the meeting until there prior to the meeting, and he was vice chair last year, so it sort of made sense to me that he could open the meeting if that works for everybody else.
Yep. Okay. Unless I call the meeting to order, let's pledge allegiance to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now we get into committee reorganization. So that involves electing a chairman, a vice chairman, and a secretary. So I guess we'll start with chairman. Any nominations for chairman?
I'll make a motion to nominate Eric Bergstrom for the chairmanship for the 2023 session.
Any other nominations? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries. Congratulations. Thank you. Vice chairman. Any nominations from the floor for vice chairman? Chairperson, I guess is what it should be. I served in the capacity. It's not bad unless I'm not here, then you run the meeting. And usually that works out pretty well. Any nominations?
I'll nominate Paul Fisher, vice chairman.
Second? Any other nominations from the floor? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One of the things I probably missed was to recognize the people that are in on Zoom. So let me just take a minute to do that. We have on Zoom, Susan Yoder.
I'm here.
Okay, Susie.
Here.
And I saw Jeff Hatfield there, but he left. So is there anybody else waiting to get in? There it is. There it is. Jeff just came back in. Jeff, can you hear us? He's on mute. Yeah. Jeff, can you unmute and say that you can hear us? When you can do that, please. Okay, so those are the people that are in on Zoom from the outside. Okay, so we have the chairman, the vice chairman, and now we need to elect our secretary for the board. Any nominations?
Name Mike Creamer.
Okay. With that? Okay. Any other nominations? Are you willing? Any other nominations?
Did somebody nominate Chad?
No.
I asked Chad. Chad, I don't know if he declined.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I nominate Chad. Ingleworth, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Not really good with. Yeah, I would decline. I'll nominate Jason Byler.
One question, what's the expectation? How soon those minutes are turned around?
In time for the next meeting.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
In seconds? Okay. Any other nominations from the floor? Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you, Jason. I'll help you. Okay, let's take a look at the minutes of November 17th. Approval of the last meeting minutes. Any questions or comments about the meeting minutes? Clarifications, corrections, anything?
Motion to approve the minutes.
You move a second? Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The minutes pass. Okay, next, old business. We're going to get into the report from Fire Apparatus Replacement Committee with Whitmer and the refurbishment of the tanker.
Yeah, I know the goal was December 19th to have it back in service, but of course, just like everybody else, everybody's trying to use vacation, so they didn't have the manpower. Goal is right now by the end of January, they did put water in the tank. There's one seal on the one front, dump valves leaking, and they just painted the pump panel. So it's just a matter of getting a couple of the things together and then should be ready. It's looking pretty good.
Can you jot down a couple of notes and give them to Jason so he has that for his report? Okay, good.
I was just curious about the timing of when you expect the final bill to be issued and need to be paid.
Matt said that he was gonna work on you once we got a firm date that it's done. He was gonna get in touch with you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, let's go to the next one. Hand in hand, engines 41-1.
Yeah, so we continue to meet. Our apparatus committee has been very active the last couple of months, and they are making, I think, a good bit of progress. We're seeing specs and drawings and all kinds of information. They've been sharing it with our general membership now. It's floating around, people looking at the feedback. They said they've been meeting pretty regularly. I don't have a date at this point. I know one of the chairman asked me just this week about some questions about what the process is to remind him or let him know in terms of how that works with ESC. So maybe if you guys could refresh my memory, there's the first step of presentation to this group, and then the chiefs have a little bit of time where they can provide feedback and kind of go from there. Is that, I remember that?
Right.
I think part of the plan was to present it so that we can then take feedback from the rest of the companies and, you know, take that into consideration if there are changes or whatever. So.
Right. And ultimately, you know, this committee should make a recommendation to the board of supervisors.
Right.
So if that takes a couple of meetings or however long, then
I don't have a date right now, but I would anticipate, and Don, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, based on the conversations I'm seeing and hearing, probably within the next maybe 2 ESC meetings, I don't know about next one, that's 2 months from now, but is it fair to say probably within 4 months, Don, they might have something? So we'll be, hopefully be ready to make a presentation to this committee and keep it moving forward. Like I said, I feel like they are making a lot of progress. They really are. Yeah. So we're very aware of the fact that there's a long lead time and it's time to move this process. Yeah, I would expect the next meeting I'll have more of an update, and I'll let Hutch, I guess, and Tara know as soon as we have a presentation, we'll get that out to you guys and you can share it with the rest of the group maybe prior to the meeting. So I think that's all I have. That's Don. Did you have anything to add to that? So, okay.
I'm assuming that the people that are on Zoom will raise their hand if they have any questions or comments. I haven't seen any, so we'll just keep on continuing. Third is the ladder truck for Lafayette.
I'm gonna let Chief update on that. He's a little more to know than I am.
Ongoing meetings, one every month. We've had 3 vendors in so far. One of them has actually brought a demo for us to take a look at. Pretty impressed with the demo that visited the station. Still a lot of discussion on the type, whether it's a platform or a ladder truck. And once we decide that, we'll go back to the vendors again.
Questions?
Just one, Chief, where would they come from? Are they a local?
Well, the manufacturers where they build are not local. Seagrave is in Wisconsin, Pierce is in Wisconsin, but the local dealers are Glick Fire in Bergen, and then their Seagrave manufacturer, or the Seagrave dealer is 10-8 in New Holland, and the other one is E1, which is manufactured in New York State, and that dealer is Fireline Equipment, and that is next door to Shady Maple.
I guess Kovacs, are they out of business in Nescahoning?
We're probably not looking at them at all. Yes, I
They do.
don't want to say they're out of business, but they are.
They were purchased by Rev. Yeah. Okay. They're part of E1. Okay.
They're a little shaky right now.
Okay.
Other questions? Okay, any other equipment, fire apparatus equipment discussion? Okay, let's go on to Public Information Subcommittee report. Who will give that?
Yeah, I can give that. So we have been meeting, I think we've been meeting about once a month. We submitted our last, or the second one, to the township, which is probably in publication, may have been mailed already. I'm not sure. I didn't see it in my mailbox yet, but it's about that kind of a month.
Is it this thing? I just got it today.
Okay, that would be it probably then. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, what is it? Some volunteer. So that, if you didn't already see that, hopefully we'll be seeing it shortly. That way. That was the last article that we came up with. Okay. So we do have a meeting again coming up next week on the 26th at our station again. And we're hoping to kind of tackle the next 2 letters, the next 2 topics that we have kind of on board is, not sure in what order they'll be, but one is, what does a day in the life of a volunteer firefighter look like? To kind of giving people a feel for, as a volunteer, what does that look like? And another article will be focused on how does mutual aid work. So we want to kind of emphasize how the 4 township companies work together and bring unique, apparatus and skills to the table to serve the whole township. And then as well as how we also work with neighboring municipalities and how, in a big fair, you need all these, mutual aid resources. So those are kind of the next 2 ideas that we'll be working on. I know there's a list we have 2 or 3 other ideas in addition to that, there's things that are further out, and we are definitely open to, again, more ideas. Give us feedback on what we've already done. Let us know what you like, what you don't like. We can talk about it now, or shoot me an email, or anybody that's on the committee, and we're looking for feedback. So,
Who is on the committee?
who's on the committee? From Bergen, it's myself and Amy Wissing. From Lafayette, it's Victoria Violet Stefano. From Bronx, it's Ben, Steve Gribble, and Andy Gribble. Although Steve said at the last meeting, I think that was going to be his last, that he was hoping to have Andy kind of take it from there. So Andy Gribble would still be active. And then from Whitmer, it is Dakota. Dakota Hoax and Desiree, Mike's wife Desiree Kramer. So that's the committee as of now. We would definitely be interested in having that second person from each fire company if we could. I don't know that we really established anything real formal. I did tell them, I think at the last meeting when Steve had asked to kind of step aside as well, that we had a discussion about it. And I think everybody on the committee kind of felt like the more the merrier, like 2 people would be better than 1. But that being said, I guess it's up to each company, you know, how much they want to participate and help us with it. But we are going to keep moving ahead. So I don't know in terms of a subcommittee like that, if anything needs to be done since the year is rolling over like we do with these offices or not. I guess I'm open to whatever. I don't know if we've had a precedent for that at all or not, but as far as I know, everybody that was there is willing to continue serving. So.
I don't think there needs to be any formal appointment.
Right. It's better to have carryover, even if you have 2 from each company. It's good to keep 1 on, so there's a continuity of thought from year to year.
No, so the last thing I just appreciate again the support that each company is bringing to it, and again, I encourage feedback. You know, I think we're thick-skinned enough that we can handle some criticism. If there's things you don't like or whatever, let us know. And if you have ideas for future articles, by all means, we'd love to hear them. So.
For one, I was at the dinner table and looking at the mail, and my wife made a comment about it. So it's another person saw it. So that's.
Well, let me ask you, as far as the school district's willingness to put anything in their newsletter, is that something that's ongoing?
Yeah, we did talk about that briefly. What we're kind of trying to do is get ahead of the curve here a little bit. We talked about it, and I think the consensus of the committee was kind of, let's see if we can get the next, like we're trying to tackle 2 now at the next meeting. We were hoping to get the next, we already had the first one, so we have 3 more to go for this year. So we're hoping to knock out 2 more, and then maybe at the next meeting start to kind of take that. We feel like we've been pushing the deadlines for these guys to get them to the township in time. It's been a little bit of a slow process to get started, but once we get the next 2 or hopefully 3 in the can here over the next month or so, I think then we'll be a lot more open to maybe say, okay, what's the next step of it?
Sure.
I guess yeah. Does that answer?
Well, what I'm saying is just 2 thoughts. One is that electronically could be attached to there.
Okay.
So which wouldn't be any time frame for you.
Okay.
The only other thing is if you didn't want to do that, just the upcoming events. She was willing to put a segment on that.
Yeah, why don't we,
Katie Myers.
who would be the person?
Yeah, I can help with that.
Yeah, can you send me her contact information? I'll bring it up at the meeting. We'll reach out. I mean, because there's no reason we can't start to already.
Yeah, because I'm seeing the different events you guys are advertising. You know, I get burden hands because I'm in that area, and you know, if they're put there, to me, it's just a little extra piece that, and that doesn't require much preparation because you guys know what you're doing.
So I'm happy to do that. So if you could send me, that'd be great.
And actually, is it possible to get a PDF of that to all of us on the committee? Because PDFs like that could be sent out to churches to post on bulletin boards in churches and places like that, community organizations, restaurants. I know Lafayette, you guys just had an activity with Lancaster Barbecue Supply, where they were selling chances for a pizza, or I guess 2 or 3 pizza ovens. And that would have been a great place to have those to hand out as people are coming in, buying the chances. A lot of opportunities for a flyer like that.
There's a few other things, again, we're kind of trying to tackle the first things first. A few other ideas about even maybe taking some of this information at some point and making a few big posters or whatever to replace some of the still fire company stuff that's up here in the future. And so, I mean, there's a few other things like that we'd like to do, but unfortunately, everybody's kind of limited in time, and we're trying to kind of do first things first here, but yeah. Hopefully we'll keep making progress on some of that, so.
Good.
So as far as sending that PDF out, Hutch, is that something township staff could send out to everyone, or should we?
Absolutely, yeah, just, yeah, excuse me, we'll get it to everybody on the committee.
The question on that, how often does the township update their like the mailing list of the addresses that gets mailed to? Reason I'm asking is I still, where I live 3 years now, my address must not be on that mailing list because I have not received any. So I don't know how many other
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that. We'll
getting it.
follow up on that.
Okay, let's go on to human resource efforts. Who's spearheading that? Is that Jim?
I think he was kind of spearheading, but I think it was, yeah, he was just kind of getting reports from each company, I believe, is what he'd been doing the last several meetings.
One of the, he's not here and never at a loss for words. One of the interesting things that happened yesterday to me is I was having lunch with Howard Hershey. And we were talking about different things. And I'm teaching a class of Lean Sigma for Penn State. And it focuses on waste reduction. One of the things, so the biggest thing it starts out with is waste reduction. And I looked at him, I said, you know, we never applied a process to fire companies hearing the alarm, going out, and then coming back and saying, where's the waste in the process? And that doesn't mean that people are wasting their time in the process. It means, should they even be going out or something like false alarms, things like that? Where are their frustrations? Where would a firefighter say, what I did across this year, these were the things that are a waste of time and would cause me to be less interested in volunteering? Or what are those barriers that are preventing people from saying, gee, I'd love to be involved with a fire station or something like that. When Howard and I were talking, his comment was they had 2 or 3 people in Lafayette that were interested, but when they heard that they had to be involved with fundraising, that was a wet blanket. So, you know, what are those things that are viewed by individuals that can fight fires? I can't, but people that can, that are identified as a waste of their time or a bad use of their time. What are those things? And how do you eliminate those so that what you all do that fight fires, that you do so well, is you're focused on doing that. And that's the most important thing. And that's what you spend the majority of your time doing. If you want to do fundraising as an optional second thing, so be it, but not a requirement, more of a desire. So it's just something to think about from a human resources standpoint. Let's look at the fire school training internship effort. Is that you, Susie, or who is that?
I can update on that.
Okay, go ahead.
They got a total of 5 students interested. It's getting a little late in the year, so they're going to be looking to roll it out in the summertime on a few dates and then shoot for the first semester of next year. They're looking for more help promoting it. If you're interested, let Desiree or Susie know. And also, if you have junior firefighters that go to attend CV in your companies, send their names over to them. There is an opportunity for them to earn some credits for their service they're already providing. So I believe that's all they had for me. Susie or Desiree.
Any questions, sir?
That's great. I know the teacher who was in charge of the internships actually switched to another school where he lives, and that kind of delayed a little bit of the internship initiatives they have. But I think Mel Upton is dedicated to that. She's going to continue to, look over that until they get a replacement.
How does that tie into what Lafayette and Whitmer, well, all 4 companies in July for where they got the kids together for a weekend?
Yeah, I know it's certainly something we're going to be promoting with that. We're in the planning stages for that already. Seeking out a couple of grants as well again, to continue to boost the funding, things that we can do with that. Looking at some other funding options to help with staffing for that. I know it is something that we are going to push through that. Certainly continue to promote it wherever we can going forward. I don't know the exact details yet.
I guess another question is, of all the people that participated in that in July, did any of them show up as one of those 5?
The cadet camp.
Yeah, get a camp.
Basically, for younger.
Okay.
Right now, that we've only had young people, I would say less than 50 years of age. But, you know, as the program grows, we would certainly, you know, give the opportunity for teenage older to also be involved.
I mean, the ages for that is like 9 to 14, I believe.
Okay.
So, but I think it does serve as a primer for kids to kind of hook them if they're interested. And then, you know, we have this number 2 punch in that with the internship program to roll them into if they're serious about doing it.
I will add on to the CV school district, if I may speak. I will add on to the CV school district plan. The dates are already set for every Tuesday for the 2:40 p.m. session. And the topics are already attached to the dates for beginning February the 7th, I believe, and it'll run throughout the remainder of the school year every Tuesday. So I know that all four fire companies in the township were solicited for help, along with Lancaster City Fire, Manheim Township Fire Rescue. I'm not sure how many more other fire companies were solicited for help, but 2:40 is a bad time of day, but sorry, you're not picking any of this.
No, that's all right. Susie has her hand up too. Susie, do you want to talk?
Yes. So what Chief is referencing is the middle school club program that's being initiated by firefighter Miller from Whitmer Fire Protective Agency. We did not get any students for the internship for this semester for the high school level. So as mentioned from Mike's report, we'd be looking for more marketing support, and it kind of struck me to ask the PR committee if they may be willing to help advertise in the next segment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we'd be more willing to do that. Any information you can send us, or shoot me an email. We can definitely be in contact. Absolutely, we could do a good part of an article on that if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be great. We'll sync up with you offline. I just, while you were chatting, I thought I would ask that permission.
Well, if all the things that you're going to come out with, the publications you're coming out with is as good as what you did there, you can almost put it into a 4-page fold in half kind of thing, and that could be a piece of literature that you hand out for a lot of things. Any other old business that we may have missed? Let's go into new business. 2023 committee calendar. You all have copies of that.
Sure, yeah, provided copies as we have in the past, pointing out that by the 1st of February, according to the calendar anyway, we'd like to get the names from each fire company, their volunteer of the year, and any 25-year service members. We do have our forecast meeting coming up. It's misdated here. It's actually February 4. Sorry about that mistake. Saturday morning, February 4. So hopefully everybody got information about that and has had the chance to respond. If you haven't responded, we appreciate knowing who's coming so we can make sure we have the right amount of food for breakfast. So that would be helpful. And each of the fire companies has the opportunity to make a presentation. We'd ask everybody to try to keep it to 5 minutes or less. We do get squeezed for time, and we're trying to make sure that we don't take too much of people's time on a Saturday morning. Appreciate that. March, we plan to, as we usually do, send out the first quarterly contribution. And again, by the calendar of month 15, we'd like to see all of our company's financial statements that we have put together. That was coming up here early in the year. If there's any other mistakes that we made on dates or anything, that any fines, please feel free to point them out so we can get those corrected.
Any questions for Ralph? Any clarifications?
Anyone that's providing information for the forecast meeting, if you can get that to me by the 27th of this month, that would be appreciated.
Did you get what I sent today? I sent it to, what's her, Susan?
I did not get it yet. I may get it tomorrow from her. I'll ask.
Does everybody have your email address?
I think I've emailed every person in this room at least once.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay, let's move on. Fire companies. Let's start with hand in hand.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to report. You heard already, one of our primary focuses right now is we're working on the apparatus, trying to move that forward. Kind of wrapping up year end here. We had our elections, not a whole lot changed there. We wrapped up our finances, budgeting and all that. I'll be submitting a report to Hutch for that here hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We have a Popeye dinner coming up, our first fundraiser of the year. And that is on President's Day weekend in February. I don't have the date in front of me here, but it's always that weekend. So be happy to see anybody come out for that. Other than that, 25th of February. Chief, do you have anything on the firefighting or tactical side you want to report on?
Our line officers, I'm going to be sending out an email, was on Facebook to the other chiefs. But our line officer group is the same, but we changed positions around.
The chiefs are still the same, and I said there wasn't much change. I guess that's not quite true. Tim here stepped aside as president, stepped down, and I'm replacing him. And Tim is going to continue to be active with the company, as you can see, he's here tonight again. But he served a very long time for us as president and as chief in the past, and looking forward to continue to work with him. So, no, I think other than that, that's all I have.
Questions for? Okay, let's go to Rox.
As far as our line officers, everything stays the same. Everyone is in the exact same position as last year. Our Squad 2 project has been completed, and I have a list for the chiefs if they want them of what equipment is now carried on that squad. That is our quick response for vehicle accidents. So we won't necessarily be taking the rescue out to vehicle accidents. It'll probably be the engine in the squad, or just might be the two squads. So we save wear and tear on the larger apparatus when it's actually needed. The last thing we have is our radios that we have are scheduled for preventive maintenance. More communications are going to come in and fine tune frequencies, and we have a couple of bikes that need repaired. So we'll be paying for that out of general fund. That's scheduled for middle of February, I think. So all our radios will be going over, including mobiles, to make sure everything's working.
Any questions for Rox? Lafayette.
Yeah, a lot of things going as usual. 2022 with calls out of good bids. We had approximately 49 public events and fundraisers throughout the year over a course of 54 days. Some of those were 2-day events. Maybe should have reported a little bit under human resources, but I thought since that's kind of been the focus here, we've certainly put on a very big push over 2022 to get out there and try and increase membership, look at what we're doing internally too to improve retention. With that, we did end up with 19 applications last year across the board. And it was a mix. We had 4 firefighters, 4 juniors, 4 associates, 5 duty crew. And we had 2 applications that were not accepted, 1 due to bad references and 1 due to a criminal record. So it goes to show that we need to be preventative and proactive in background checks to protect the community. Yeah, looking at that, just a couple other interesting statistics as I was looking at year-end items. We had 107 days out of the calendar year where we had basically what I would call a company-wide event. There will be a training meeting or fundraiser that's open to the entire company. So that's about 1 every 3.5 days, 2 a week. So kind of looking at those numbers, we looked also kind of at some retention side of that. Of those 17 people that we accepted in the last year, kind of go with our transient population and the number of rentals. Of those 17, 4 had actually applied, been accepted, and have since moved with that. And so far, we've had 2 of them that have completed their full probationary period and came on as firefighters. And we have another 8 people spread across those different roles, junior, associate, duty crew, still under probation. We've had 3 that's have either been terminated for lack of activity or resigned. So I thought that would be pertinent. I know nobody's asked for it, but we've continued to center that discussion around that. The number of applications we received, despite what I feel has been a significant bigger effort this year, has not yielded more applications than we would get in a normal year. So I think that's kind of where it's at. But along those lines, we do, one of the things that is encouraging, we do have an increasing number of junior firefighters. We have 8 of them on our roll right now, most of which are actually active. A couple other things along the HR lines, we made accommodations to our duty crew program to allow for firefighters who have experience elsewhere in training, who work in our first STU but don't live there, and certainly can't obviously run calls at nighttime or weekends, to accommodate those individuals. And we worked with high companies. They've actually changed some of their policies within some of their divisions to allow some of their personnel who have experience other places to possibly participate with us. We have 1 or 2 individuals who have started that process, so we're feeling our way through that. Again, trying to think outside the box here when it comes to getting people in the door. Beefed up the recruitment retention budget to $4 grand for this year. And one of the things, of course, every year we do go through our membership rolls and see who's active and who's not. And I know, I'll be honest, I'm a pretty blunt person. We face some criticism from the standpoint of maybe having too many requirements at certain times. So the board this year, when we went through and evaluated that list, rather than looking at quantitative data, are taking into account the qualitative contributions from those individuals that are, we'll say, maybe less active. And certainly there's a value there with keeping them on for another year. Also have revamped our training program with that as well, trying to focus on meeting newer members at their level and where they're at. As far as logistics, administrative officers, not much in the way of changes other than a couple of our at-large board members. Mike Lorelli from High Associates continues to sit on our board for another year. On the line officer side, chiefs are the same. We've had some juggling up between lieutenants and captains and have a new lieutenant in the mix. Matt Playford, who was a captain, has stepped down after quite a number of years of service, spent more time with his family. So we thanked him for his service. Just a little bit on the financial side of note. Our fund drive is down, not as much as we thought initially. We found out we had some return issues in our mail was going from post office to post office for a while due to a barcode that was on the envelope, but that's since been resolved and the numbers seem to be evening out a little bit, although we are still down to date. Budget wise, I would say it's also notable that this is probably the first year in a couple that we have not had a surplus in our budget. And that's mainly due to major increases in utilities, maintenance costs. We thought initially we were gonna be looking at 30 grand in repairs on our ladder truck here in January. Due to a ladder issue as well as tires and brakes. Luckily, the ladder issue turned out to be much more minor, and so we cut that number in half. But obviously that unit is continuing to age. So obviously we're thankful that that repair is not needed, and we don't anticipate it being needed anytime soon. The only other thing I would just make mention of, the board is certainly looking at some longer term planning as we continue to focus on what things look like, not just next year, but 5 and 10 years from now. And the board has pretty much identified and had a discussion that the current funding model is not sustainable well into the future. So that's something we're going to start to look at and look at what might be able to be done about that going forward. As far as events coming up, we are doing the FOSNOT events that we've traditionally done. That is coming up February 20th, 21st, April 1st, tentatively, is our chicken barbecue. That date is slightly different than most years. Our barbecue vendor had a conflict, so we may end up moving that around. That's just a tentative date. And then June 9th and 10th, I know Eric can kind of reference earlier, that steak cook-off event is scheduled to happen again this year with support of Lancaster Barbecue. So that's where we're at.
Questions for Lafayette? Let's go to Whitmer.
Yeah, December 3rd, we had our milk and cookies event. Actually had a good turnout. We had roughly about 230 people that came through for the milk and cookies. We have our auctions coming up February 11th. And we do have changes in the line officer side. Chief Mike Kramer is, and there are some other new officers that are going to be in that role. So I'm sure he'll get that sent out to everybody if you haven't seen it. Pretty much, I think, we have. Do you have anything you want to add?
Questions for Whitmer?
We saw there's a family and farm safety event planned.
Yeah, I think that's coming up on February. I think I've seen something on the calendar.
Yeah, February 25th is Farm Safety Days. And
Yeah, looks like an interesting event. We're trying to publicize and put some information in the township office. It's the first time I remember seeing anything like that.
Missed township when I went around. The same thing that you have to add, Ralph.
Just a couple things if I can. We did have the Board of Supervisors approve the workers' comp activities list at their last meeting earlier this week. The way we did it was it's the same list as we had last year. So I made copies for everybody. If there's something that you think ought to get changed or added, taken off, let me know. We could certainly have the board make that change if it's necessary. I have been having contact with gentleman from the insurance agency that we all work with. He suggested a few things that I'm looking at right now, so I may need to bring something back through, and I'll do that through the committee before taking it to the supervisors. We mentioned last time that we asked if anybody had a spill control policy. We got some input, and ultimately Tara put something together, so everybody got a copy of that, but Tara can.
So this procedure that you all had in your packet, and if anyone else needs it, I'm happy to share it, is the one that will be put into the MS4 program and what we will intend to show if we're ever audited as to what is occurring on sites when there's a spill. So if there's any major changes to that, please let me know. If if you choose to use it, that's great too.
Hopefully, everybody saw the announcement that over at the Walnut Street Extension Project, they're going to start blasting and having a highway impact early afternoons starting tomorrow, I think. So hopefully everybody got that information. If you didn't, let me know. We have not yet received our SWIFT workers' comp insurance coverage statement. As soon as we get it, we'll get it out to everybody. I know you need it to go over to the training center, so we've been asking for it, and it just hasn't shown up yet, so do our best to get that to you as quick as we can. That's about all that I wanted to mention. If anybody has any questions?
And we have a township citizen rep that was approved. Unfortunately, couldn't be here today, Dana Omeron, and he will join our meetings. He couldn't make it tonight, though.
Yeah, we sent out, hopefully everybody got the new list that we had as of this meeting in January. We modified it. We'll get that out to everybody as well.
Questions for Ralph?
I have just a general point. I want to thank all the departments who gave me tours of your departments, your companies, I should say. Just totally impressed with the equipment, how it's maintained, how your stations are maintained. I mean, the citizens should really understand any donations they're giving, how well they are maintained, and I mean, efficiency and cleanliness and organization, and just super impressed. So thanks to everybody who provided that. And I have a question. Obviously, the Hershey Farm incident was very big, and you know, who did not notice that our companies were there? Will we get some kind of a report on that collaboration? I mean, that was a significant event. I don't know how many like that we've had, but seems like the type of cooperation that was there would be good for this committee to hear about it. I'm not even pretending that's all done. I'm sure that evaluation is still happening, but could that be something that's on our agenda at some point?
Some companies do after action reports and some do not. I kind of doubt that we will see one.
But I had a similar thought tonight, and the question is there anything that went on there that needs to be addressed in terms of missed opportunities, issues, concerns, or anything like that? Lessons learned for the next time, I guess, is the big thing. That could be the after action report, but
Well, just the number that was being reported of equipment that was there and companies that were there. I just thought coordination had to be an incredible undertaking, and so.
I think it was a sizable call. I wasn't there, but from my perspective, the feedback that I got from our chiefs and our members that were there, things seemed to go pretty smooth, and sure it was an impressive operation and everything, but I think for the most part, it's kind of par for the course for what our guys do. I think when we get that kind of a call, I think the chiefs correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, the size of it obviously was bigger than your normal day-to-day call, but yeah, I don't think it was, I guess I'm not trying to downplay it, but in my mind, it was, yeah, pretty much business as usual, I think. So, but I think definitely if this committee is interested in any specific parts of here, any specific parts of it, you know, for something that we can do as fire companies to help this committee in any way, you know, and keep them better informed of.
Well, I think what you said, Eric, yeah, if something is something that pops out, but if it is business as usual, like, you know, I mean, thank goodness no one was hurt. It didn't seem like there were any reports of firefighters being hurt either. So I didn't know if it was akin to a large barn where everybody comes together, you know, obviously some other features of it, but
Definitely brought back some memories from a long time ago with Sight and Sound there, but
You say we've had Sight and
a lot of us, I think, have. But again, I probably shouldn't be speaking on behalf of the chiefs. That's my.
One of the things that stands out, should stand out to you and the public is that in a major incident like that, where there's not a good public water supply, we actually are running two separate incidents, two operations. One is to get water headed into the scene, where normally around parts of our township, we have the benefit of public water, others we don't. That is a major undertaking by itself, and it becomes pretty much self-managing. And then you have the attack side. And so, you know, basically, I know our engine was was pumping the creek behind Katie's kitchen. So by the time the first tankers were empty and came looking for a place to get refilled, we had water out there. So that part went well, even though we got stuck pulling in, we were able to do that. And then I think pretty quickly they were able to get water onto the roof. From what I'm understanding, I wasn't up at the scene, but from what I understood, they got water flowing pretty quick onto the building. It was just the type of construction that we can have 2,000 gallons of water a minute coming into the scene. But if you can't put it where it needs to be, it's a problem. And so unfortunately, I think in this case, it actually had to burn open. I mean, the fire was in the roof, in the attic, in the loft, in that truss space, where it started. And when it's in that situation, it's tough. So to me, for the public, that's the part that one of the big aspects to it, that makes the magnitude of the incident so big, is that you have those two separate operations that are going on, one to support the other, to support the other. We pumped about 150,000 gallons of water from the creek. And I don't know how much they got from the public water supply. It wasn't the greatest, but they did get some from the hydrant system over there. And then they also got water from the pond behind Hershey Farm. So it wouldn't surprise me if they might have used 400,000 gallons of water, you know. So, but the key to me is that what draws your attention is all these fire trucks. But if it wasn't, you had to do water supply, you could cut, in that case, maybe half of them out.
Okay, I see.
So,
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
I think I saw a hydrant near Rudders was after fact, you know, I saw hoses laying around, so they must have been taking it from that one.
Jeff, how about the MC?
Okay, hold on here a second. Hey, all right. Good evening, everybody. Just want to bring everybody up to date. We're continuing to watch the weather. We're supposed to be getting some snow this weekend. Actually, probably be starting tomorrow. There's a storm coming in, but we're continuing. PEMA is sending out, and the weather center is sending out the info if it would get any worse, and I'll send it out to the chiefs and so forth then if it does. We're still receiving notifications from events that are occurring in East Lampeter and that stuff, letting us know when there's major events or any road closures due to accidents and so forth. We're staying alert on that. The other thing I'm working on right now too, and we're talking about major events and disasters. One thing we need to work on, and I'm going to be sending out an email to the chiefs and trying to work on some type of policy and procedure, and that's dealing with fuel delivery. Okay, you know, the apparatus needs fuel to operate, and you know, you can't just take the engine or a ladder truck out of operation at a major event or major fire and go get gasoline. So I checked with a couple of companies. A couple companies had asked me about, hey, what happens when we run out of gas at a major event and so forth. So I'm going to be working on something with that, with the chiefs and stuff, and find out if they have policies and procedures in regards to fuel delivery to their apparatus. And then I'm going to probably be getting with Ralph in regards to what company delivers to the township. The township have a a fuel tank storage and township trucks receive fuel there. And if that company is available or something like that, that could deliver fuel to the scene or whatever. So I'll be getting with you, Ralph, on that then and discuss that as soon as I get some more information from the fire companies. So we can discuss that. Because that's one issue that some companies had asked me about. The other thing is, whenever an email goes out from the township in regards to when they send it out to the fire chiefs, I need to be included in that as well too, please. As any information concerning the township, for instance, the blasting and that stuff. I should have got a copy of that email, but it was forwarded to me by another fire chief, so I had it. But if anything comes out from the township in regards to emergencies or some type of situation going on that they're sending out to the fire chiefs, I should be copied that on that as well. Other than that, everything looks good. I can say at the fire scenes, when I do attend at those scenes, everybody works very well together in a professional manner. And I have not seen any out of ordinary things occurring. And I think everybody, like I said, does an outstanding job. So that's it for me.
Any questions for Jeff? Okay, let's go with citizen reps and then go to the visitors here. Anything to add or just?
Maybe just something for Paul, going back to human resources, and it's kind of something you brought up, Eric. Would it make sense to, in one of your future articles, to outline non-firefighting needs that the community, to make the community aware that they can help with? So to your point of firefighters not signing up to be a firefighter because of fundraisers and things like that, there might be.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've been alluding to some of that a little bit, maybe a little subtly, but we could probably make that almost a feature article maybe. So.
I mean, just because as a community member, I can speak firsthand that, like, I'm not aware of all the needs that a fire company needs. You know that they go out and fight fires. And as Eric said, I'm the same way. That's not going to be me. I'm not the type to go fight a fire, but I'm willing to, help in other ways. So I think,
no, absolutely.
And if we get the word out that, that could spark some interest.
Yeah, I would definitely make a note of that, and we can put that down as a future topic to discuss. Sure.
I don't have anything additional to add.
Do not.
Okay, and Susan Yoder.
Nothing for me, thank you.
Okay, public comment. Any comments from additional comments?
Susie here. I just have a question, a follow-up question for Hand in Hand. Paul, you had mentioned a database that you were trying to build, and we're seeing significant need for that and wanted to see what the status was.
Yeah, it's still in the very early stages. We have someone working on it. We're going to be probably doing our first review of it here sometime in the next several weeks, but it's still in the very early stages at this point. But yeah, I'd be happy to share information with you on that as we go forward. Absolutely, if you're interested in it. It's going to be a process. I mean, I think we're asking for a lot in the things that we've asked our software developer to do for us. And so we're going to be taking it a step at a time, but I'm hoping to start seeing some results here over the next couple of months. So yeah, absolutely. And be more than willing to share with you offline here sometime what we're doing and kind of what we're trying to do with it.
Other comments?
Yes.
Go ahead.
At the county fire chiefs meeting, the LCWC, which is the Lancaster County Wide Communications, they made an announcement that sometime in the next 5 years, anyone who is, they'll be moving to what's called a P2 radio system. And there are a lot of radios that are currently on the radio system that are not P2 capable. That would be anybody who has a Realm radio right now, which I believe is the police department and Lafayette. Ronks, you're using Realms, right? Yeah, sometime in the next 5 years, they're going to be switching over to the P2 system, and none of our radios will work on a P2. I'm not sure about here in Kenwood's.
Any other comments?
I have one more.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many of the 4 companies are using emergency reporting at the moment, but emergency reporting has been purchased by ESO. And from what I understand, the new price tag for emergency reporting to the National Incident Fire Reporting System, which you must do, is going to be somewhere in the $5,000 range if you want to stay with emergency reporting. I know for Lafayette, we are switching to First Due, which is what a lot of the other companies in the county are doing. The cost is less, but there's still costs associated with it. This is something that we used to get for free from the state.
Any other good news? General comments, any open general comments? Gonna go around the room, anything? Ned? Okay, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second? All the meeting.